One evening, I was studying for my physics exam. Before I started studying, I found myself in a dilemma. Where should I start? With practice tests, review my notes, or should I just go over the labs we have done in class? This wasted a lot of my study time. I barely accomplished anything. Soon, it was almost midnight, and I was still contemplating the most effective and time-saving studying strategy. Everyone has a different way of remembering things. Some people go by the old-fashioned way and memorize every single word in the book. Others highlight the most important pieces of information. Now, I will show you a picture of something that will probably bring back a very fond memory. Take a look at this picture of Petra. What is your memory of this place? Do you notice that your memories are not only related to people, events, and certain acts, but also relate to a certain place, maybe even a hallway, room, or piece of furniture? The structure and design of the architectural works and buildings are an entrance to our memories, most of them almost forgotten. Many recollections, especially from youth, are connected and identified with the houses and spaces we grew up in. We recall fragments of the space, lighting, furniture, and smells because even though our eyes overlook them, every other sense remembers them. Take a moment to recall your favorite memory. What do you recall about this memory? It's not a single image, is it? Obviously not. No memory exists all by itself. When a memory is created, the brain either deeply or shallowly processes it. In other words, you are more likely to remember it or forget it very quickly. To retrieve that memory, you would have to match the event with one already in your memory or match it with an external cue. Reconstructing the memory, you remember the smells, the colors, the surroundings, and the way it all made you feel, like the effect of an inspirational museum or a touching memorial. The architectural moments lead visitors on a journey through their senses. The architect considers certain material properties, lighting displays, and even spatial arrangements that are likely to serve as memory triggers for the occupants. For example, they would purposely make the hallways in school one-way and easy to navigate so students can remember the different ways to their classes. Today, I'm here to introduce a strategy that you can use to help you quickly remember information using the space around you. We all know the famous classical detective stories of Sherlock Holmes. In the BBC series Sherlock, the great detective repeatedly used a technique called the loci technique, or as formerly known as the magic palace, a memory enhancement technique which uses visualizations with the use of spatial memory to help you quickly remember information. My loci, which means a place in Latin, is my own house, which I know very well. In my mind, I visualize myself going to the house, and I place each memory in a different room. For example, I struggle to remember the linear momentum conservation equation in physics without messing up. Well, now I see myself going to the guest room, and I can imagine the equation up on the wall. The equation is m1v1 initial plus m2u2 initial equals m1v1 final plus m2u2 final. Now, a loci can be anything you want to visualize. Most people visualize a route they know very well, and they place each memory along the route. How about you give it a try? I'm going to give you 3 complicated names, and you're going to place them somewhere in your loci. After that, you will turn to the person next to you, and you will try to recall all 3 names. Take a moment to find your loci. Here are the 3 names: Aphrodite, Mirabella, Concordia. After you've placed them somewhere in your loci, turn to the person next to you and try to mention as many names as possible. How many people were able to mention 1 name? 2 names? 3 names? Quickly remembering at least one of those names is a huge step to being able to train your mind to remember more effectively. There is no correlation between intelligence and the use of this memory technique. But the more the technique is practiced, the more and more embedded your mind palace becomes, and you'll find yourself being able to remember much more information. In a study, researchers picked random strangers walking in the street and gave them a list of 72 random words to memorize, almost the same amount of people in this theater. I mean, how cool would it be to memorize every single name in this theater? Well, without the loci technique, the strangers memorized an average of 26 words, missing 46. But after learning the loci technique, the average boosted to 62 words, only missing about 10. From 26 to 62 words, that's a big difference. If you found that impressive, Yanya Wintersoul, a triple world record memory-holding athlete, was featured in the Netflix series The Mind Explained, which I 100% would recommend watching. Use the loci technique to memorize 500 random numbers in 10 minutes by imagining that she is walking down the street and the numbers from her memory test are placed along the path. Architecture has played a huge role in the past and is now playing a bigger role as we are beginning the year 2020. Memory is a powerful tool. You build onto it. Many of us would say we are visual learners. So in order for us to develop and advance, it is important to make the most of our visual memory. Many of us used to see the structure around us as a representation of power or culture. Architecture has an effect on an individual level. Occupants remember the sense, meaning, and an emotion that an environment helped provide. The built structure engages humans, influencing both their perception and decision-making abilities. By the end of 2020, we would have had changed, advanced, and become more convenient through our memories. The next time you struggle to remember something, find your loci. Thank you.